What's up YouTube? Torf.0 here, and I'll be bringing you another channel update. We'll be picking up where we left off last time when we were playing this game. And we'll be doing this with the Atari 2600 graphics. So let's go ahead, we'll get started playing the game. We'll back out. There we go. Anyways, I'm bringing you another channel update. Well, because I haven't uploaded in a little over a week, and there's a pretty good reason why. I had been uploading a couple episodes of the Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures. I'd gotten to part 3, I think, on that. And I hadn't been able to bring you any more parts, unfortunately, which sucks. I was super excited about finishing the game and bringing it to you guys, but I've encountered a little bit of technical difficulties. So, I've been playing the game, and a couple days after the launch, they released a patch. It was just supposed to fix a few things, like adding options for screen res and disabling and enabling VSync. Well, unfortunately, with that patch, it also broke recording with fraps, so I can't record with fraps anymore. Every time I try to do that, I get a weird glitch where basically it'll do a transition, and then everything after that transition, the graphics won't load. I did about all the troubleshooting I could to fix it, and unfortunately it wasn't enough. I tried reinstalling my graphics drivers and reinstalling DirectX maybe, see if that would help, and unfortunately that did nothing. Honestly, I think it's an issue with the patch where they disabled the frame limiter that they had on before the game would only run at about 60 FPS. But after they patched it, you could turn VSync on, or you could turn it off and have higher than that. And honestly, I think that's what broke it, because actually, when I first played the game after the patch, it wasn't working whether I used fraps or not. And it turns out the VSync was off once I turned it back on by forcing it to 640 by 480 and then launching it. Then I could play. But I don't know, maybe that would work with fraps too if I just set the resolution to 640 by 480 and tried playing. Honestly though, that's less than ideal. I'd much prefer to play in 1080, but we'll see. We may have to put it into 640 by 480 if we can't get it to go. Anyway, so that's my plans on that. I hope to be able to bring you the Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures as soon as possible, but we may not be able to get that, unfortunately. So anyways, I chose today to play with the Atari 2600 graphics. You know, I just like how they look. It's older than retro, honestly. The Atari 2600 is definitely before my time. Like, my dad had one of these when he was in high school, and the one that's in his parents' basement, unfortunately, doesn't work anymore. It's actually just a shell. But that doesn't mean that I can't enjoy these graphics too. And actually, I feel like they may not be very good graphics, but they're just fun. They kind of take you back and think, man, video games used to look like this. And, luckily for some of us, we got Nintendo and Super Nintendo graphics, so not quite Atari 2600 graphics. But compared to the graphics we have today, I think we all can kind of relate a little bit. I guess unless you're like 12 and the oldest console you know of is the GameCube and Xbox. But aside from that, they're just kind of nostalgic graphics, and for whatever reason, a lot of this music is Dr. Mario, which I'm fairly certain didn't have an Atari 2600 port, but I don't know. I know that Mario Brothers did and Donkey Kong did. I don't think they were official ports. I think they were more akin to the Atari just released a game, because they had a lot of games that were not licensed by Atari, so it wouldn't surprise me. if someone made a Dr. Mario game for Atari, but I thought like Dr. Mario came out a long time later than the Atari 2600, but I don't really know. That was a long time ago, and honestly, I was never a big fan of Dr. Mario in the first place, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. Anyways, we'll go ahead and we'll move on to our next topic, which, speaking of Angry Video Game and Nerd Adventures, I was actually able to get it set up on my laptop that I have running as a server. What I did was I was able to install Steam, and I basically, since they announced the Steam OS, which is just the Linux fork specific for Steam, I decided to make my own Steam OS, which is, I just installed Steam onto my server 2012, gave it its own user to boot up into, and then instead of booting into the Windows shell, it boots up directly into Steam Big Picture mode, and then from there you just use your Xbox controller to choose. Oh, really? Oh well, you grab your Xbox controller and you control it that way. It's basically the same thing as the Steam OS, or at least what we don't really know that much about it, but it'll at least be a similar concept. The difference being mainly that with Steam OS, it'll probably have a few more features, and it'll be a little bit different than just Big Picture mode. But at least my implementation of it will be able to play Windows games natively, because it is just running on Windows. So honestly, I think that's probably better than what the Steam OS or a Steam box would be. But that's neither here nor there, and if you don't agree, that's fine. You're entitled to have your own opinion. But was able to set up my own quote-unquote Steam box, and I've been kind of messing around with that and enjoying it. Anyways, we've been talking about the Angry Video Game Adventures, and that's kind of my current project. But starting tomorrow, I'll be starting a new series, kind of a new project, and it's going to have the subtitle Torftoberween. Okay, it's not a great title for the series, but since it's going to be October, I decided I'd play kind of a Halloween-themed game for the month, and what I'll be playing actually is Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights, which I'd never actually played it before. I'd heard about it, and I actually booted it up for the first time last night, and it is actually a really fun game. It's PlayStation 2 era, it's for the PlayStation 2 obviously, but it's just kind of the good old go around and collect stuff and do all this kind of platforming and adventuring and stuff like that. And that's one of my favorite genres. I mean, today you play a lot of shooters and things like that, but just playing games like the platformers and the 3D, I don't even call them 3D adventures, or where it's basically collect all the coins or keys or secrets, and oh, I just got knocked by that ball of fire, lava. But anyways, I look forward to bringing that to you. It's not really a scary game, but it is a Halloween game, Scooby-Doo, monsters and whatnot. And honestly, I think the horror genres for Let's Plays and reaction cams are way overdone, so I don't think I would want to contribute to the overpopulation of those kinds of videos. But other than that, I still do have my kind of current project, Pokemon Blue Kaizo. I uploaded a part all the way at the beginning of the month, last month. I'll probably upload another part this month. It'll be kind of just a monthly thing. It actually takes a lot of work to do an episode with all the graphics and such. So look for that later this month. And other than that, I may have a few other projects in the works. I'm not really sure, but we'll find out about it later. And that's going to be it for this update. Thanks for listening, YouTube. Leave me a comment if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to follow up with you. Have a good day, have a good week, have a good October. I'll talk to you later. See ya.